everyone. Welcome back to the Hampton Roads Real Estate Network. Today we are doing our monthly market update. I've got Drew Walk here, and we are going to go through our local stats. We're going to go through some national stuff, and we're going to parse through all the facts and just try to break it down for you so you know where we're at and where we could be going. So we're going to break out our crystal balls, predict the future, and make tons of money, right?
Absolutely.
Great. Perfect. So we'll go ahead and jump right in. I'll go ahead and throw up our first slide. All right. So what we got here is just our breakdown of our local market. So this is both Southside and the Peninsula. We got all 7 cities plus Cosin and Yorktown. Okay. So includes everything, and it's all just residential stuff here, guys. So first thing we're going to look at is the very top line. So this is our median sales price, and it is around $320,000 for this market, which is up from January 1.6%. So just up just slightly, and it's up almost 5% from this time last year, which if you saw our last market review, that is not unexpected. It's kind of what has been going on. So the next thing that we always like to look at as well is our median days on market. This is a indication of how fast things are selling, and things are selling quickly, and they're actually selling faster by about 35% than this time last month. So that is because, and I'll go ahead and skip down here, is we have really low inventory. We're down pretty sharply from January. So February saw a decrease by almost 25% in inventory. So we're down to 1.7 months of inventory. I probably say this every time, but how we measure inventory in real estate is basically by month supply. So if we didn't put any homes on the market, this is how long it would take to sell everything. So less than 2 months. So that's how you think about it. For comparison, a normal market is, ideally around 6 months, right? Okay. So, and another thing that we always look at is the average percentage of the listing price received. So that's an indicator of what things are selling for. And this basically says you're paying what it's listed, slightly more than what it's listed for on average. So if it's listed at 300,000, you're probably paying 300,000 or a little bit more than that for that home. Okay. And that has a lot to do with competition. So those are the main indicators that I'm going to go ahead and point out this time. And we're going to go ahead and move on to Drew. He's going to talk about rates and our national standpoint. So Drew, go ahead and take over.
Yeah, I'm going to jump right in. So here's an article we pulled from bankrate.com, and you can see some past several months of the interest rate trends coming out of, the all-time high that we saw in October was just shy of 8%, trickled down towards the end of the year, beginning of January. We've had a little roller coaster over the past month or so. Definitely, significant uptick in March, and we've trending back down over the last, week or so in March. As you can see that the 30-year fixed rate average, national average, is right around 6.9% currently. And the consensus is that mortgage rates will continue to ease down in 4. The Fed did meet this week, so we're going to jump a little bit into that as well. The inflation numbers released this week weren't that great, but they weren't terrible. So not an extremely warm and fuzzy feeling, but after a brief retreat, mortgage rates are now rebounding. We're going to jump to the next one here. CNN Business states that once again, in result to their meeting this week, the Federal Reserve stated that they were going to leave rates steady where they were for the 5th consecutive meeting. Wall Street is betting that the first rate will come summertime. Now, the timing of a rate decrease is key, and that's the reason that they've decided to push it off. Because if they, reduce rates too early, it could, either undo the progress the Fed has seen over the past couple of years in regards to inflation. That's why they raised the interest rates. It was to curb inflation, But if they cut it too soon, it could fail and prevent the economy from sharply deteriorating. If they cut it too late. A majority of the Fed policymakers continue to expect 3 rate cuts this year, but they're potentially seeing fewer rate cuts in 2025 and 2026. It's kind of far out, but that's what they're stating right now. They expect the interest rates in the longer run to be slightly higher than they projected in December. However, they're also stating that economic growth is expected to be much higher this year than officials estimated. Here we are jumping over to an article from US News stating that the Fed meets another 6 times this year, and it's a safe bet that there could be 3/4 point cuts between May and December. Here we go. For all the worrywarts out there, US News is stating that the economy is not headed for a recession anytime soon. Recession has been predicted for the past couple of years. Not only did the Fed hold interest rates steady at the highest levels in 2 years, it said that the labor market remained strong and it moved upward in its forecast for economic growth this year from 1.4% to 2.1.
Yeah.
Ryan, I'm going to hand it back over to you for the housing trends.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And all you worrywarts, just take a chill pill and get out of my inbox. Okay.
I got them on the phone.
All right.
In your inbox for you.
Yeah, man. So we're going to talk a little bit here about our housing market news. And as we're heading into the second quarter and, the spring selling season, but say that we're hopeful for a strong selling season this year in real estate. There's a lot going on, but in general, we follow certain trends, and the second quarter is usually a highly anticipated period for the real estate market, right? So you got more buyers out there, you got more people trying to sell their home. The weather's nice, homes look better in the sunshine, so everybody's excited to get out, look at houses, and make that move in between school seasons. So that's your traditional time to buy or sell a home, move on to the next phase of your life, whatever. And we are expecting that this year. So the one thing that we do want to point out, and we talked about this in the first slide though, is the low inventory. Okay. So that's the thing that we're keeping the eye on the most. It's in the news the most. And it says right here, so the chief financial analyst of Bankrate said lack of inventory will continue to keep a lid on activity. You can't buy it if it's not for sale. So that is going to be the main thing really holding people back from buying a new home this upcoming spring and summer. The rates are holding steady. And like Drew said, we're anticipating them to decrease as this year goes on. So this time of year that we're going into is it's a time when home sales are generally highest compared to other quarters of the year, and inventory levels tend to peak. Okay, so we usually see the most homes for sale in the height of the spring. Okay, and we'll take a look at a graph that kind of displays that, give or take, a month or so, but usually mid spring, we're seeing the most homes for sale. And again, traditionally, there may be some decline in rates as the spring buying season gets underway. We were definitely hopeful for that. Last market update that we did last month, we talked a little bit about that because rates were on the decline. But, Drew just pointed out that most recent Fed article said that they might not do a major rate cut until the summer. So the rates where they're at now will probably be about the rates they are during the height of the spring season. Again, that's peering into our crystal ball. We don't know. Things could change, in a month, no doubt. But where we stand right now, we're looking at, a busy season, but potentially low inventory. But hopefully we're going to see that increase here pretty soon. And this graph will help kind of clarify that. Unless you're colorblind, then this graph probably won't make nearly as much sense. Got a lot of shades of green in here. Okay. But if you're not colorblind, maybe you can stay with me here a little bit better. I'll try to use my laser pointer to help out. But if you can't see red either, I guess that probably won't help. So we've got a few interesting things that we would need to point out here on this graph. So as you can see down here, it's years 2018 through 2023. Now, the first slide that I showed you guys showed that we had a decrease in home inventory, right? So our month supply of inventory was down by about 25%. And if you look at 2018, 19, and 20, those lines, which are these three lines here, during that same time period, we actually saw a steady increase of homes throughout that month coming out of the winter season. But the past 3 years, 21 through 23, we're seeing a little bit of a negative, slope there. And this one's slightly negative here. That one was 2022, mostly flat, but it is slightly down. And then 2023 also slightly down. Okay. So we're seeing the same thing this year. We are slightly down from January. So we're following the same path as those past 3 years, where we're seeing a little bit of a decline right before we cross over into the spring season. Whereas in years prior, it was more of a steady increase. Okay. And then right around April, that's when we start seeing things kind of kick off. So that's kind of like the spring starting line you could think of. But we do see all these, as you can see, has the general slope is up for all of these as we get into our spring, summer season. June is usually where it peaks, except here, this line 2020 peaked out here in July. So that was a little bit late in 2020, but still general trend up, then it general trends back down towards the back half of the year. So right now, that's what we're expecting this year. Don't have any real reason to think that it won't follow the general pattern of this year, especially the last 3 years prior was following the same decline early part of the year, and then it kind of ticked back up. So next month's update, we'll see where we're at. Obviously, we're hoping for more inventory as we move into the spring, not less. Right now, it is trending down, but like you're seeing right here, typically it kicks back up as we cross over into the spring season. So that's all I have to say about that graph. I'm going to pass it over here to Drew, and he's going to open up his crystal ball and take a look into the future and tell us what to expect. So Drew, tell us what's going to happen.
Gonna put it all on me. I can't
Yeah.
say that I can crack the crystal ball and give out all the gold here, but we're gonna jump into some national trends here. New listings, the month over month change is up 15%. While inventory is still low, more people are selling their homes. If you're looking to buy, this gives you more options. As we see the springtime inventory comes up, there's going to be more options for those buyers. Now, home prices, are up. I think our local area is about 1.1%, due to last month. Here we are, national average is saying 1.5%. Days on market down 8 days. So once again, since the inventory, the supply levels are low, buyers out there are scooping up the inventory pretty quickly. There are more buyers than there are homes available. So each home that comes on the market becomes more of a high commodity than it might be if there were more options to choose from. So what this means for buyers, you may have more options coming, but you'll still want to move fast and come in with a strong offer. For sellers, your home should still stand out and may receive multiple offers if it's priced right, it's well maintained, it shows well. I don't think you're going to have a problem selling your home. Once again, we keep hearing the same thing every month, and the common thing that we've seen for the past several years is low inventory. Your home, once again, if it's priced right, it shows well, it's most likely going to be receiving multiple offers. What Ryan showed on that last slide is past several years of inventory levels throughout the entire year. And we did see that uptick in March every year, but we also saw kind of a downtick in inventory listings coming to market in April. I don't know if that's due to more, Ryan, like spring break, maybe Easter holiday, something of that nature. But it looks like really like mid Q2, that May timeframe is when things kind of really start to come to the market again. So,
Yeah.
let's gear up any way that we can help you guys. Give us a call. We'll be more than happy to help you either prep to buy or prep to sell. We're always here for you guys and really want to, just provide, info. That's what we're here for. It's just education and, to take you guys from start to finish, if that's what you guys reach out to us to help you do.
Yeah. Yeah. Right now we're at the end of March. So we're in that lull period, like you said, that we saw on that graph. And then things next month, April, that's where that like really kicks off. Right. So, I mean, the low inventory, we're probably going to be talking about this forever, but it is compounded by the fact that even though rates historically are fine, these days at around 7%, 6 to 7%, that's, just a normal rate for a mortgage. But because they were so low, we are still under the rate lock effect. And I know that we mentioned that last month. So we got home buyers that are in those homes and they are not moving, right? Because why would they move unless they really have to? So they're hanging on to that 3% rate. And they are, unless they absolutely have to sell for some reason, they're going to stay in that house with that rate and, maybe, just pass on to their kids or whatever, and they'll or rent it out and, they'll hold on to that house until the sun blots out. And, then we don't have to care about rates anymore, So, that's what's going on with a lot of the housing inventory combined with, we touched on this last month as well. New construction is still trying to catch up. So that will probably be the same theme, month over month moving forward. Hopefully we will see an uptick in the spring, but we just don't expect it to reach the levels of a normal or what we'll call it balanced market of 4 to 6 months of inventory. So that's kind of where we sit right now, guys. Like Drew said, we're just here to bring you the facts and just cut out any BS. There's no like sales pitches or anything like that. That's what this monthly market is all about. Just bringing you the cold hard facts and, maybe doing a little, projection as well, peering into that crystal ball and trying to give you guys an idea of where we might be going. But every month we're going to bring up the new stats and share it with you guys so you can be the most informed that you can possibly be about our local market. And until next time, you know where to reach us. Facebook, Instagram. You're probably on all those things. Yeah, call us. Conversations are free. Message us, call us, email us. Happy to talk about real estate anytime. All right, until next month, guys. See ya.